Every year, the AFL do something called the 22 under 22, where basically you vote for the 22 best players under the age of 22 in that year. I did it last year, I'm going to be doing it again this year on video, so I hope you guys do enjoy this. If you do, make sure you hit a like and please subscribe if you're new. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and every subscription would help more than you could ever imagine. Okay, well, there's going to be a few obvious selections, and there's going to be a few selection squeezes, let me say. So, I'm going to start off in the midfield, because this is where we can get juicy. I think I've got a selection I'm happy with. So, Luke Jackson in the ruck above Noah Bolter. I think that's pretty much everyone's selection. And then, I think Andrew Brayshaw is an absolute given. Arguably the Brownlow favourite under 22 years of age. Yeah, can you not have him in there? And so far, we've got two potential teammates next year. I'm not saying anything, but come on, Luke. In the midfield, I know he's missed a bit of game time this year, but I'm going to go Bailey Smith. Because his sort of transition play, his pace through the middle, especially at Marvel, when the Dogs are at their best, Bailey Smith is just an absolute different breed, and I think he does slot straight into there. And then there's two players I'm a little bit torn between, either Chad Warner or Sam Walsh. I'm going to go Sam Walsh though. Walsh has had a more consistent year, while Chad Warner's had a breakout year. Walsh has had a more consistent year. I think Chad Warner's going to be a gun though, and I think he is going to win at Brownlow. He is insane for the Swans. His explosiveness out the middle is incredible, but Sam Walsh is Sam Walsh, and he can slot right in there. On the wings, I'm going to go Noah Anderson. That's my first wing spot. And I think I'm also going to go James Jordan as my other wing spot. I'm going to snub Adam Cherry there. I know, a little bit controversial, but he hasn't had the greatest year, to be honest, Adam Cherry. It's been a very average year. Hasn't been anything astounding. But yeah, I'm going to put James Jordan on the wing with Noah Anderson. Now, moving to the back line, I've got a few obvious ones. I'm going to go Hayden Young. If you've watched Freo this year, he's close to our most important player. He's the man who starts that transition play from half-back, moving it down the ground, that signature fast-moving Freo style of footy. He starts that. His intercept marking, it's like he's a 28-year-old seasoned professional in his prime. He's absolutely incredible, Hayden Young. He slots straight into the half-back slot, and an All-Australian very, very soon, I'd have to say. Next, I'm going to put Kaden Coleman, a real breakout player for the Brisbane Lions this year, and a real underrated player. If you watch Brisbane play, you can see how much of an impact he has. He is an absolute madman. He's got the pace of an absolute jet. He can speed down the wing into the forward line from half back. He can do everything. Kiggy Coleman, and he slots straight in there. Second half back, Nathan Murphy's a shout. He's been very good this year, but probably not to the level of some other blokes. I'm going to chuck Nick Dacos on the half-back line with them. He's in for an All-Australian selection in his first year. He could win Collingwood's best and fairest in his first year. A club like Collingwood to win the best and fairest in their first year. Oh my god. He has torn the competition apart, Nick Dacos. I cannot believe a player can be that good in his first year. And the way he plays, he looks like he's 29. He's been doing this for 15 years at a professional level. Absolutely ridiculous, Nick Dacos. I think he speaks for himself. Fullback, I'm going to chuck Sam De Koning. He's the general down in Geelong's back line. Even when Tom Stewart's there, Sam De Koning sometimes dictates that back play with his intercept marking and dictates the tempo from fullback. Sam De Koning is so professional and so well seasoned down there. I think he has to go in. A real breakout year for him. I'm going to chuck in Nick Blakey. I reckon a real underrated player for the Sydney Swans, Nick Blakey. I always get him and Callum Mills mixed up with the similar hairstyles, and because they both get so much of the pill. Nick Blakey's a real nice in and under player who could easily play midfield if he wanted to. I think he actually does play midfield a little bit at the time for the Swans. But yeah, real underrated player. I think he goes straight into my side, Nick Blakey. I'm kind of talking between a few people. Murphy's there. Tom McCargan's had a great year. Jordan Clark, Isaac Quainer, Harrison Petty. My bias might kick through, but I really like Jordan Clark. I think I'm not sure if my bias has kicked through, if Jordan Clark does thoroughly deserve that slot. But he's a madman off halfback once again. He's running. I wouldn't say as good as Jack Sinclair. but he reminds me of Jack Sinclair the way he plays. Just gets so free off halfback and can easily just find an option, whether that's on the wing or switching it to find a different angle. Yeah, Jordan Clark, I think he does go into my side, but he's not straight in. I think the selection squeeze will be tight when we get to the bench. Moving into the forward line, this will be quite an easy selection, I'd say. I'm going to go Aaron Norton. I'm going to go Jack Gingerman. I'm going to go Connor Rozee. And then, who else do we have? I'm going to go Max King. I'm going to go... Okay, this is interesting, yeah, because Nick Martin's a shout. I'd probably put him on my bench, though. Darcy Fogarty's a real shout, but he's a little bit inconsistent. Cam Ranger's obviously a jet. Frederick's a shout. Rankin's kind of a shout. Probably not Cozzy. He hasn't had the greatest year. Errol Golden's a definite shout. And probably Cody Waitman will go up there too. I'm going to chuck a Waitman with Norton at half forward. And then it's either for me a Frederick or a Golden. I'm going to go Errol Golden. I mean, he plays a lot of midfield time too, doesn't he, Errol Golden? And the fact I can just put him in my forward line is very, very nice. Yeah, once again, he's a bull through there with Mills and Parker and Josh Canny, who's just retired. Yeah, Errol Golden fits in with the best of the Swans, and that's got a very bright future if they can hold on to guys like him. Moving on to the bench, we've got a few options. I'm going to first go with Chad Warner, my most easy bench option, because he's very lucky to be squeezed out of the midfield. Unlucky, sorry, to be squeezed out of the midfield. He's an absolute gun. Sam Berry is a shout I could go with. I'm going to go with Nick probably not Nick Martin. Yeah, Nick Martin. He's been very good this year for Essendon. A breakthrough player and a really poor year for them. I'm going to go with Sam Berry. I'm not sure if this pick's very popular, but he's a tackling machine for the Crows. Gets tackles for days. And yeah, him and Rory Lever, a combo not to be forced with on the tackling front. And I'll tell you what, this is a real selection for a squeeze now, because I don't think Kleiner comes into the conversations this year. I think he's had a little bit of a down year. Harrison Petty's a great player for Melbourne. Tom McCargan, Nathan Murphy, all good players. I don't watch a lot of North, so I couldn't tell you a lot about Bailey Scott. Chera's had a bit of a down year, if I'm being honest. Sarong, he's up there in the conversations. John Newcomb, he's in the conversations. McInerney's a really underrated player. Probably not Rowell. Tom Green, yeah, he's had a little bit of a down year. He had a really good year last year. Zachy Bugger's probably the same with him. A little bit of a down year. Cozzy, same with him. Frederick's had a breakout year. Ranger's had a good year. Fogarty's had a good year. It's a real selection squeeze. So I've got a forward and two mids on my bench. I want to get a backline player in, ideally. The thing is, Tom McCargan's probably the popular option, but I'm going to go really unpopular here. I'm going to go with Nathan Murphy, because every time I watch Collingwood, he seems like a general... He's intercept marking. He gets the pill every time there's an intercept mark up for grabs. Nathan Murphy, he snatches them up like no one's business for Collingwood. A little bit of an unpopular pick maybe, or maybe Tom McCargan should slot in there, and maybe I'm just an absolute dumbass, but I'm going to go with Nathan Murphy as my bench option. And look, there's a lot of players squeezed out here. Tom McCargan, Caleb Sarong, Adam Chero, John Newcomb, Matt Rowell, Tom Green, Zach Buggers, Michael Frederick, Isaac Rankin, Cozzy Pick. That's a really good bunch of players that have been squeezed out, but unfortunately, I think it's just going to have to be the way it is. My captain is an obvious one. It's going to be Andrew Brayshaw, clearly the best player here and a developing leader in front of our very own eyes. And my vice captain is going to be Sam De Koning, a general down back. I reckon he could do the job if Andy Brayshaw pulls up with COVID on the weekend, and De Koning will have to step in as captain. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video. I really enjoyed doing this. I'll put the link in the description if you want to vote for your 22 under 22 squad, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.